Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to season 50 of the TMossBoss show, bruh. Like, I was getting tired of doing these extras. I was like, nah, I gotta just go on and start it. I don't really care anymore. I'm like, I think that's what I'm just gonna do from now on. I'm still gonna try to work on the YouTube channel and do full length episodes and focus on my other channels, but yeah, I'm like, I can't, do any more extras. Because my thing was is that I was going to get caught up doing extras, and then I was only going to get used to doing extras. And I'm like, no, I have so much, even with all the previous extras that I did, I have so much to talk about when I'm doing those extras. I feel like I only talk about some things. I don't really get to explain myself. So I think I'm gonna up the extra times, like have it where it can be past 15 minutes. Just not giving them an official like episode name, but I'm tired of doing the extras, man. I'm like them extras. They were annoying. I ain't like doing them. So, anyways, in today's episode, overall, I want to talk on something that I've kind of touched up on before, but the cancel culture. I feel like everybody knows what the cancel culture is, but if not, I will be explaining it to you. But everybody has been a part of the cancel culture. I'm like, without you even knowing, you most likely have been a part of the cancel culture, whether it's been something that's been like, because I feel like that outside of the internet, the cancel culture can exist. Like I remember at my old job, there was the cafe job that I worked at in downtown Seattle. My friend, he worked there with me, and we ended up like becoming friends because he had started. I didn't know him like up until he started working there, but we ended up becoming like really good friends and stuff. You guys might heard me mention him like talking about his band Monitor, but the bass guitar player in there, Jack. He was a part of the cancel culture at that place because I don't know how many times customers would come up and like would say something about him, and I'm like, I'm cool with dude, and he, maybe it's just one of those friend things where you just don't really notice nothing, but there would be things that I guess would happen right there in front of me, and people would be like, "Did you see that?" And I'm just confused, like, what are you talking about? And they're like, dude, I remember the one lady, she came up to me and got mad. So there's like a salad. We had like this salad bar area, the like cafe. And I remember a woman had got mad at him because he had cut her. And I'm like, I don't think the salad bar works like that. Like you were still there, getting your foods. He walked around you and got other foods. So I don't know, like I assumed that that's how salad bars worked. I didn't know you had to like be in a line like when, and I mean I didn't like, I'm not going to, he's a grown man. I'm not going to be like, hey, you got to stop like cutting people in line at the salad bar. I just don't even feel like comfortable saying it like right now. And I'm like, and it's not, that situation happened like 2 years ago, I think. But even after that, there would be customers that would come up and say things about him, and I'm just like, and I joke around with them because I'm like, I don't really care. I'm like, I don't know what they really expect me to do. Like, you're the supervisor, I'm just the cashier guy. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't. If it ever came to a time where they was all like, I need to talk to a manager about him, I think that's probably when I would have like looked the customer in the face and been like, okay, well, what did he do to you exactly? Because as I see it, he's just being normal. He's being cool. Like there's so many other customers that'll come in there and they'll say like nothing but nice things about him, but then you always get that one. And I'm like, and there's most likely been times where customers have said and did that towards me. So maybe they maybe not have like told anybody about it, but they've definitely just like they treated you differently. And that's why I'm like, that job, that's why it's like one of the things I ain't really like about that job was that the way that some of the people there carried on. I'm like, I ain't really care for that part of the job. I'm like, man, can you guys just bring your lunch or breakfast in from home or something and just not come down here? Because I want this to be like a positive environment. But when you come down here and you have an attitude, you trying to start something, I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to be bothered with you. But anyways, but yeah, overall, like he's been a part, like not on the internet, but just in a real life situation, he's been a part of the cancel culture. Because there's customers there trying to cancel him. I'm like, nah. Not on my watch. I'm like, nah, he good people. I'm like, you ain't gonna cancel him over something that you got built up in your head. But more so talking on the internet, cancel culture, because I feel like that's what more people know about. Yeah, the internet cancel culture is toxic. Like, I'm just gonna tell y'all this right now, right off the bat, to just cut straight to what I'm overall going to be talking about. Cancel culture is toxic. The only reason why people be trying to go around cancel everybody is because they don't like that individual. Look at Kevin Hart. I don't know. He's because my thing is that he's a comedian. So of course he's gonna say some things. Of course he's gonna do some things that some people might not agree with. But isn't that comedy? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that comedy? And I feel like that comedy is a thing where if you are comfortable, excuse me, saying something to a person's face, you can get up on stage and say it. So my thing is, like, I know I would love to do stand-up comedy one day, and the things that I will talk about is stuff either about myself or things that I've said to a person's face before. But I'm like, I'm not going to get up on stage and say things that I know I'm not going to say to a person's face. I can very well just go on the internet and do that. I feel like that's what that's for, you know? But people have gotten on him because of comments he's made about his kids. But I'm like, do you guys not pay attention to other comedians out there? Because there was twice where these two comedians, like the one comedian, he didn't really get canceled. I remember people was getting on me for going off on him about what he said. But I remember this one comedian, she went on stage and she made some jokes about that rapper XXX Tentacion. And I wasn't it about his death? I think overall she did make some jokes about him. And yeah, his friends and fans, they was not having it. I follow some of his friends because they're also musicians, and they wasn't having it. They wasn't having it at all. And his fans, like XXX Tentacion fans, that's one thing I can say about them. Them guys is like, they are locked down to the core. You will not say anything disrespectful about X. Like, and that's one thing I love about like a fan base, you know, like they, you know how like strong they are for the person that they idolize and stuff. Like, even though there's been times I've dealt with fans like that, you know, but it's good to just see like, you know, they got like a stable fan base and stuff. But anyways, yeah, she said some things about him, and I haven't heard of that comedian since. Like, you know, if she was taken off, like, she immediately fell down with no parachute onto her. Her career is gone. But anyways, just an abyss, like no longer in a seeable area and stuff. But then I remember this one comedian, he said some jokes about Paul Walker's car crash. And for those that don't know, yeah, there's this actor. You guys might have like seen him. I don't know if people don't know who Paul Walker is. I feel like a lot of people would have to know who Paul Walker is, but he was this actor that was in he was the main star of the Fast and Furious movies. And yeah, he was like out testing out this Porsche, and him and I think he was in the passenger seat and his friend was driving, but I believe at some point in time his friend might have lost control of the car, and yeah, they ended up crashing and both got killed in the accident. So yeah, it was a sad day because I remember my sister, she told me, and then I remember I went to go play video games, and I was just like that. It just like the mood just felt different, you know. Like, this is somebody that I've been watching since I was a kid. The mood just felt really different and stuff. So I had to admit I was sad about his death because it was one of those things where it's like, you know, you're not really expecting to hear something like that. So it was a sad day. But I remember this comedian, he got up on stage and he overall said, like, I can't remember exactly how the joke went, but he said something about, like, Paul Walker's, like, crash or catching smoke or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, people wasn't having it. You know, they wasn't, well, at least, like, his fans. And, like, I think it was, like, some of the people that, like, from the Fast and Furious movie, they just wasn't having it and stuff. Which it makes sense. Like, I would, if it would have been one of my friends up there getting talked about and they just got killed in some crazy accident, I probably would have had to confront that comedian and been like, okay, that joke, scrap it. Don't say that joke no more. I'm like, don't really care how you feel. Don't really care about your career. Don't say that joke no more. Because I'm like, that's somebody that I care about. That's somebody where I'm like, especially if I'm close friends with them. And then, of course, like, you know, it's in a situation like that, you're going to be crying your eyes out. Then for a comedian to publicize it as a joke, to me, I'm like, I don't really care about the whole, like, oh, that's what, because I remember after I made a video talking about it around the time when it happened. And I remember people was getting on me talking about, oh, you don't know comedy, you don't know. I do know comedy. And like I said, I'm like, it's someday if I can say it to a person's face, I'm not gonna trip about it. But do you think if the cast of Fast and Furious and Paul Walker's family, if they were sitting in that audience, instead of the people that were there, it was a cast of Fast and Furious and Paul Walker's family, do you think that guy still would have said that joke? No, he would have said some Fast and Furious jokes. He would have said some jokes that didn't have nothing to do with Paul Walker's car crash or car accident. So that's why I'm like, yeah, if there's things that you can say to a person's face, then say it up on stage. But if you can't say it to a person's face, then don't say it on stage whatsoever. But yeah, I remember people was getting on me about that. I'm all like, man, you guys don't understand comedy, because I'm like, or just don't understand the principle of having respect for a person. So, but I remember people was trying to cancel Kevin Hart. So that's why I was like overall like talking about and stuff, like Kevin Hart being canceled, because he had said some jokes about his kids, and people was trying to like cancel him for it and stuff. And I think the one joke was like he said years ago about his son was like, and if you play, because I know people was just only playing the part where he said he didn't want his son to grow up gay or something like that. But if you play like out that whole segment, he's cracking jokes. And my thing is, it's like, if he and his son, if they talked about that, because I would imagine that his son has most likely seen that special and seen it, and if he felt a certain way about it, he would have came out and said something about it. And then Kevin Hart would have, had to apologize to his son for cracking those jokes. But nothing has been said. Nothing has been done. So that's why I'm like, I don't really understand, like, what's the problem? I would imagine that he did go over that joke with his son, and just, especially when around the time when he was getting canceled for it. I'm pretty sure that him and his son had a conversation. He was just like, look, I'm going to accept you and love you for whatever you want to be and for what, like, whoever you want to grow up as. I'm not going to have no beef and problems with that. So I'm saying, like, it just, something like that, where I'm like, if you guys don't really know how it was behind doors, I just personally, and I'm not trying to come off as like, I am a fan of Kevin Hart, but I'm trying to like, just be neutral in this. We don't really know the conversation behind doors. So I'm for sure that he had a conversation. After that, I'm for sure he had a conversation with his son and, family and all of that. And I'm pretty sure like everything was like, settled and just overall like, just put his water underneath the bridge and stuff. So, and then fast forward to this year, he says some jokes. Now his daughter is like, old enough, and I'm positive that he then went and confronted her and said like, hey, I'm gonna say, because my thing is like, that's overall what I would do, like ask a person, like, all right, what kind of jokes, like, is it okay if I crack this joke? Is it okay if I say this? If not, all right, plan B, gotta come up with something else. But and that's one thing that I learned from the TV show Wild and Out, because that's happened where where people would go up on there and they would tell them like, okay, say this, this, and this, but don't say this, this, and this. And that's, I would imagine, like, comedians, if they're talking about their family, they're like, okay, I can talk about this, this, and this, and I can't talk about this, this, and this. That's comedy, okay? That is comedy. You have to, there's some things that you respect, and then there's some things where it's like, oh, okay, and I'm positive that when Kevin Hart's kids, when they grow up, if they decide to do some stand-up comedy stuff, 100% sure they're going to be saying some things about their dad. 100% sure they're going to be saying some things, and then most likely people are going to be like, oh, they need to be canceled for saying that about their father and stuff. He raised you this. And I'm like, man, that's why I'm like, I personally feel like that some comedians, there's been people that I've watched on YouTube where it's like they've been, like, well, all right, maybe not you so much as YouTubers, but I'm not like, I know for a fact there's some of the YouTubers that I watch, I know they're going to most likely be a part of the cancel culture one day. And it's one of those things where I'm like, look, if that's not your comedy, okay, that's not your comedy. Move on to something else. And that's overall what I did with that guy that made that Paul Walker joke. I wasn't sitting around watching his comedy specials. I seen that one thing, and I'm all like, okay, anytime when I see his face or name, not going to watch it at all. So, and I know people will probably bring that up because I know that guy, he passed away some time ago. So I'm like, I ain't going to say no, like, disrespectful things about him, but I'm just going to say I'm not going to watch any of his comedy specials or anything regarding him and stuff. So just out of respect, just not going to do it. So Anyways, but yeah, people were trying to cancel Kevin Hart for the jokes that he said about his kids. Now, Kevin Hart, he was like, and that's honestly the attitude that you have to have towards that type of stuff, is that you just don't care. And overall, I'm like, yeah, that's facts. Like, you shouldn't, like, when people try to put you a part of this whole cancel culture thing, you should not care at all. And I'm like, and I know there's been times where people have tried to cancel me because of either mostly, not even mostly, like 100%, all of the stuff that people tried to cancel me for was just some made up stuff that they had built up in their head. So that's why I'm like, when people tried to put me a part of the cancel culture, I was all like, nah, y'all tripping. I'm like, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to bow down. I ain't going to do any of that stuff. So you guys can put me a part of the cancel culture as many times as you want to. I'm not going to care. So, but anyways, no, and then that's another thing. I want to like talk on like why people was trying to cancel me last, but I wanted to overall like talk on. There's been times where people that have they have even done nothing and they've been canceled. I don't know how many times when I'll see a person's name trending on Twitter and then you will see like whoever it is I don't even know, like Brad Pitt, he's a part of the cancel culture. Or Samuel Jackson, he's a part of the cancel culture. Or Ariana Grande, she's a part of the cancel culture. Or freaking, I don't know, Jennifer Lopez, she's a part of the cancel culture. For no reason whatsoever. You just see their name trending, you just see a bunch of people hating on them. And that's overall the ones that's a part of the cancel culture. That's like they're like the cancel culture like name, that's the AKA cancel culture. But overall what they are, haters. Every last one of them, all haters. My thing is that when you go back through a person, and that's like one of the reasons why, like, now I guess to talk on people that, like, that they have like a legitimate reason to put them a part of the cancel culture. And it's mostly because they have found like some old videos or tweets or posts that they have made like 10 years ago when they barely had any followers and stuff. So my thing is that when they overall like people try to like go and find like those old tweets and posts and all of that stuff, why are they finding it? Why are you going back like thousands and thousands of tweets? Because I'm trying to think, how many tweets do I have up on Twitter right now? I know I definitely have like thousands of tweets. Oh, they don't even let you know anymore. Wait a minute, I think I can maybe check on my phone. Because on my phone, I think it's like it's set up differently. Dang, bruh. Hold on. Dang, they don't even let you know anymore how many tweets. Okay, well, I know I have like thousands of tweets that I've made on Twitter and stuff. And people would like honestly like try to scroll back and find like old tweets that that I made back in like 2011, 2012, when my thing was that I've always had a following. I'm not trying to like brag or make it seem like I'm the most popular person in the world, but I'm like, I've always had a following. So my thing was that I know I can't make tweets or say certain things to offend people. And that's something that I've been thinking on for the longest. I might have said some crazy things here and there, but overall, like, and it's mainly been like, the people that have confronted me about it has like been friends of mine, and I will apologize to them and be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry that I offended you, and I won't make tweets like that anymore. So that's why a lot of times, like, I really don't be posting a whole lot of, like, I just don't post. I mean, everybody doesn't, but I just don't post crazy things. I only post things where it's like it's not even really considered crazy, but people would, I guess, like, they can potentially get offended by something that you say. But yeah, I'm like, I stay away from a lot of things. Like, there's like stuff that I just don't talk about and things, even though I do talk about a lot of things, but there are certain things I just don't really talk on. But yeah, but no, like the cancel culture, it's just, it's one of those, like, it's just overall like haters and stuff. Like, people are just all like, oh, we gotta go back and find some old tweets and videos and posts from this guy, or girl, and try to cancel them for you. And it's one of those things where I'm like, obviously they're not keeping that same energy today. And if they were, I feel like that, that's how it usually should start up, is, let's say, for an example, and I'm not saying that she is a racist, but let's say if she was a racist person, Ariana Grande. Now, let's say if there was a video of her screaming at some black people, calling them the N-word, then I feel like, oh, okay, let's go back and find some old tweets of her saying the N-word and saying racist things. Then she will have to answer for it. But I just feel like it'd be so random. This girl's like touring the world, shaking kids, kissing kids on the forehead and stuff, doing all these, different. Does she? All right, maybe she don't be kissing kids on the forehead. I just said that randomly, but overall, like, jokes aside, like, she's just touring around, living her life, making music, having people just smiling, being happy, crying when they see her and stuff. And then out of nowhere, you just like get these posting things like some old tweets, Ariana Grande cracking racist jokes, like back when her career hadn't even taken off, back before the Victorious days. Like, and that's where I'm all like, it's stuff like that where I'm all like, I don't really care. Even though they had said some racist things, and there's been multiple times before where it's celebrities that have said, because I think Justin Bieber, didn't he say like some like racist jokes back in the day, and people was trying to cancel him for that, and I'm all like, I don't really care. It's not like this man, it's like he's saying that now, so that's why I'm like, it shouldn't even really matter. But people, honestly, they would not, nope, we still gotta have him a part of the cancel culture. People have always hated on Justin Bieber, though. I think it's like, because I always had seen it as a joke, but as you get older, you realize, like, yo, this guy's, like, talented. Nothing's wrong with him, so why are people hating on him? And I think just people consider him that cringy person and stuff. Like, if a person's, like, publicly being cringy, then okay. But as I think back, like, when Justin Bieber was blowing up all the way up until now, I'm like, this man's never really been cringy. Like, when he was a kid or even now, like, he's just been living his life, doing his thing. So that's I'm like, I don't know. I have to say I started liking Justin Bieber when he was on Ridiculousness. I'm like, okay, we have like the same taste in TV shows. I like that. But anyways, yeah, people have tried to cancel him like for some jokes that he cracked like when he was younger. And this is one of those things where I'm like, I don't really, like, people ask me, like, how do I feel about a celebrity getting exposed for saying some racist stuff back in the day? I really just don't. I don't care. I don't. I'm like, I know people would probably be like, I should have more of an opinion on it, but I don't. I don't. I can care less. Like, and then I know if people probably ask, like, well, what if it was, like, one of my friends? I would ask them about it, be like, yo, what is up with that? Because I'm like, because it's a celebrity. So I'm like, I can't, like, go message Justin Bieber and be like, hey, what's up with that? This man got, like, millions of followers on social media. So, of course, he ain't going to see my tweets. Of course, he ain't going to see my messages. But to one of my friends, I'm like, okay, they're going to see him. So I'm not like, yo, what's up with that? Like, what was going on back then? We're like, why was you making these posts? And then, eventually, it was like, if they gave me a good explanation, I'm like, all right, just leave the situation alone. Now, if they approach me face to face and they're saying some racist things, I'm like, oh, this person's crazy, and I can't associate myself with them anymore. And I just gotta move on from it. But yeah, I'm all like, but if they apologize and they're all like, oh, I'm sorry for making those tweets if you gotten offended by it, I'm all like, all right, cool, want to play zombies or something? Like, you want to go out and get some Red Bulls? Like, I don't really care. I'm like, because I see this that they're not carrying on like that anymore. So, you just got to let the situation go. Like, if they, in the future, if they do carry on like that, then that's when it's like, okay, then that's when you cancel them. That's when you're just like, oh, I can't be associated with this person no more. And you just cancel whatever friendship or relationship that y'all got. So, but anyways, now I want to talk on me being a part of the cancel culture, because people have tried to cancel me numerous times for numerous reasons. But I remember the first reason somebody had tried to cancel me, and it was the whole and it was mainly like during this whole beef with the YouTuber Just a Robot. A lot of people was so I remember people was trying to cancel me because I defended reaction videos, and I was doing reaction videos. So that was like one of the reasons why they tried canceling me. And then I remember they sent this quote unquote suicidal girl to, I guess, I don't know, I guess they try to receive some help from me, but she just wasn't responding to anything that I said. So they were trying to cancel me for that reason, saying that I ignored suicidal people. And then after that, I think then they tried canceling me because I had cracked some jokes about this video. A lot of the times they forget to mention that not even a lot, the majority, mostly, all of the times, when I say or do something, I don't really know the background history on it. So they've tried to cancel me for stuff that I didn't even really know about. But I remember the one YouTuber, he made this video, it was a tribute video for his mom. And I didn't know it was a tribute video for his mom. I just seen it as a random video. But it was a tribute video for his mom. I made some jokes about it, and then people was trying to cancel me for that reason. But I did apologize for that, because I was like, I am sorry. I didn't realize that that's what that was. But it just kind of, didn't really make any sense, where they were telling me to stop talking about it, but every time his fans would leave comments about it, he would help YouTubers edit videos talking about how I did that. And then they would try to turn around and say that he's grieving. I'm like, he's helping people edit videos. So it's like selective grieving. Like, oh, I'm gonna grieve when you're talking about it, but when others are talking about it, oh yeah, I gotta help them make a whole James Cameron film for it and stuff. I'm like, that just didn't really make any sense. So I took my apology back on that one, because I'm all like, no, you obviously don't care, so why should I? I'm like, it's messed up that his mom passed, but he just doesn't really, care. So I'm like, you would think that you would have a little bit more respect for, that particular subject, but he came off as that he didn't. So anyway, I don't know, like, people are like probably gonna get on me for saying that, but I'm just like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I wouldn't, if I would have been in his shoes, it would have been everybody. I'm like, okay, this guy apologized. Now we gotta let this go. I don't want nobody making comments about it. I don't want nobody making videos about it. I don't want nobody. And people were still making videos about it. People were still, because that's was one of the people that talked about it, was Just a Robot, and he helped Just a Robot work on that video. So that's why I'm like, yeah, he doesn't care, and that's messed up. But then I remember people was trying to, and that's why I was like, I seen somebody talking about it last night, overall, like talking on how I had said that I wish this girl would get her throat ripped out by a dog. But so here's why I said that, because a lot of people, they like to forget why I said that. So if people might have remembered a while ago, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, I think it might have been last year, but there was a mass shooting in New Zealand, and a lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people was injured. So it was, any mass shooting of any extent is going to be sad. It's going to be messed up, and there shouldn't be nothing, surrounding it. Like, this is what we need to focus on, helping the people of New Zealand. That's it. That's all they should be worried about. But YouTube, so here's what happened. So YouTube had made a tweet overall saying, like, our prayers go out to New Zealand, something along those lines. And a hater of mine had replied to YouTube saying that my videos are like trying to overall put my videos in the same conversation as a mass shooting. So my question to everybody out there, what would you rather be doing? Being a part of a mass shooting or watching one of my videos? Because I'm saying, if you say that you would rather be a part of a mass shooting, you are mental. You are seriously mental, and you need medication. Forget medication. You just don't even need to be out in the public eye. You need to be in a mental insane asylum. Because obviously your mind, your brain needs to be scanned a couple of times. Because if you, for one, choose that, I'm like, yeah, it's something, you got issues. So I took offense to that somebody had tried to have my videos in the same conversation as a mass shooting, because I'm like, how does this even fit together? Like, you have to understand that people of New Zealand are not thinking of my videos. YouTube is not thinking of my videos. People that know somebody out in New Zealand that was a part of this shooting, they do not care for my videos. So what makes you think YouTube will take the time to stop worrying about the people of New Zealand to worry about my videos? That's why I was all like, Art, is something wrong with you? Like, something has to seriously be wrong with you. And I guess it was. Somebody was trying to tell me that she has autism. And I'm like, so why wasn't this established before? Like, I feel like that's always like I don't know how many times like they've said that to me. Like, they'll say something crazy, and then I'll call them out on it, be like, are you serious? Like, that's what you're gonna say? Like, right? Like, there's been so many times, like, other than that, where it's like they've said some things, and then they're all like, oh, well, I have autism. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm sorry that you have autism, but what you said is still wrong. Like, I can care less if you have autism or not. Like, I'm saying the same thing to a person that would have had it or wouldn't have had it. What you said is wrong. I can care less what this girl got going on in her life. Like, what she said is wrong, and she don't need to be on the internet or have any social media platforms if she's going to be saying things like that. So that's why I'm like, I've always spoke on like kids do not need social media, and that's overall what she is. She's a kid. Like, kids, they don't know what they're saying, they don't know what they're doing, and people will try to find every excuse for them to be on the internet. So, and my thing is like, I feel like I'm, compared to some people that I know out there, I feel like what I'm saying is okay. Like, I feel like what I'm doing is okay, because there's some people out there that exist, and I'm like, yo, you could have been, that girl could have been dealing with them. They could have said far more worse things to this girl. They could have been threatening her life. They could have been like trying to track this person down and try to cause physical harm to them. But instead, I just say, and my thing is like when I said like when I said that, like, I wish like a dog would bite out her throat or something. Like, because what I really want to say is that this girl needs to get punched in her face. I want to say things like that, but then I know I'm all like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't like be so realistic with this. So maybe I should say some unrealistic things, and people, I think that might have been like a semi like realistic, but not realistic, because I don't know, like people they'll just overall I was like I wasn't trying to be like dead serious about it and things. Like a part of me was trying to crack jokes, and I think that was just my version of cracking a joke, but some people took offense to it. I'm not gonna apologize for it though. This girl just tried to put my videos in the same conversation of a mass shooting. I would have to say that we're even. Like people they was really trying to cancel me for that reason and stuff. I'm all like, look, that girl, she put herself in that situation by replying to YouTube's tweet talking about a mass shooting and going to say that my videos should be the main thing that they're focused on. Yeah, I'm like, you got issues. I'm all like, something's not right with you if you think that YouTube will really take the time to focus on my videos rather than helping out the people of New Zealand. So yeah, that's why I'm all like, that's why I've always been public about it. Kids should not be on the internet, because when kids have internet access, they don't know how to act. So yeah, I think it's best, like, kids, stay away from it. Stay away from the internet, because some of y'all don't know what to do. But anyways, yeah, but what else? What other reasons that people have tried to cancel me? I feel like there's been other reasons before people tried to cancel me. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I'll think of something, but yeah, the cancel culture is toxic. I would recommend everybody to not be a part of the cancel culture. Even if you don't like a person, like, don't like them, but just like stop trying to like find like a way to like hide behind. I don't know why everybody's like, oh, I can't admit to myself that I'm a hater, so I have to like hide behind the quote unquote cancel culture, I'm not going to call myself a hater, but I am going to try to cancel them. And I'm like, yeah, no random person is going to just be going around canceling people. So that's why I'm like, yeah, you guys, like, if you don't like a person, say that, but stop trying to make it seem like that, oh, I'm just canceling them just to cancel them. So but anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes, more longer episodes now, man. It feels good to be able to do something longer than like, 13. I know I was always trying to do something to like 13, 14 minutes, but I'm not like, dang, I would notice that I'm at that mark. I'm like, dang, now I gotta hurry up and end this and stuff. So yeah, full-length episodes are back. I had to do them. I was like, I'm getting tired of doing these short episodes. But anyways, yeah, talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.